When we say tax the rich or eat the rich, some people will respond by saying, but it is the rich people who create jobs. There's a few ways to respond to this. First of all, I would say, well, if we would tax the rich, then we could fund park rangers. Then we could fund people working in medical research. Then we could fund people working in the Consumer Protection Agency, which helps to protect consumers when corporations try to do things which are unfair ripoffs, fake billing, whatever the case happens to be. So taxing the rich can actually create jobs. It can also do this in a second way. Second point, there's this distorted view that it's only the richest people, the 1%, is the perception that has created the good jobs, but there are a lot of average people who are creating jobs, who have construction companies, who have barber shops, who have coffee shops, run clothing stores, all of these different things. And if we would transfer more of the money in terms of taxes from those richest 1% who are really hoarding the wealth that the country is creating to the 99%, there would be more freedom, less of a burden on them. They would be better able to create more jobs. What I mean by that is this. If Trump comes up for an idea, such as Trump steaks or Trump board games, as he has done, he can just give the idea out, throw a couple $1 million. Some people can develop the ideas. He can throw some extra thoughts into how the game is or whatever it happens to be. Very, very easy for someone with billions of dollars to create and start new businesses. For the working class that is very burdened by just simply trying to survive, this is very difficult. So if we can transfer more money from that 1% to the 99%, more of them would be able to start jobs. There's a third response that people will sometimes make. They'll say, well, if we would tax those people more, then they would be demotivated and they wouldn't work as hard. Simple response there is that doctors typically go to school for 10 years. The average doctor works their whole life. At the end of their career, they have assets worth, the average has an assets worth $1 million. So if doctors can do all of that to accumulate $1 million, why would we think that Bezos needs 200 billion doctors? Like more than the combined value of thousands and thousands of doctors. This whole idea is completely distorted. If Bezos isn't willing to work hard for $2 billion, then we should let someone else develop those businesses. We were able to function before Amazon existed. I think it's a good business, and I think he should be rewarded for it existing, but the degree to which he is being rewarded is simply ridiculous. I'll only make one point here, which I'll make continuously, which I think is the most important aspect of all of this. There are a lot of people who will think this is the politics of envy, or it is unfair to the richest people to tax them because they've worked for that profit. Very simple argument against that is merely noting that the profit that they are making is on the backs of millions of people, is on the backs of the infrastructure and the riches of the country. Bezos is making a profit, as is Tesla, from every road, every electrical grid through the entire country, and they should have to be able to pay in terms of taxes for the great benefits they are receiving from that infrastructure. Their businesses are protected by the police. The whole country is protected by the military. They're receiving the greatest benefit from all of this infrastructure, so they should pay by far the greatest amount of taxes for that infrastructure. Simple illustration. So I've never gone to Disney World in Florida. So it wouldn't make sense that I would have to pay for Disney World in Florida. Whereas someone who goes there every day makes perfect sense that they would have to pay for going to Disney World every day in Florida. I haven't even seen most of the roads in Canada, in the United States. But Bezos is profiting off of every single road throughout the country. Their trucks are going over them every single day. So they should have to pay a lot for the benefit, for the use of that, just like someone who would go to Disney World every day should have to pay for the benefit or the use of that. So in other words, it is not that we are just saying they're making a lot of money. We should transfer it and distribute it, and this is better for society. That is part of the argument we're making. But we are also saying that those people who benefit the most from the country should have to pay the most for the benefits of the country. If they are paying more to support the infrastructure, to support police, to support military, to support all of these different things, then we can shift more of the burden to them, shift more of the burden away from 99% of the people. As a result, the whole country will prosper more because the other people can become more educated and start more businesses on their own as well, rather than just a few people controlling all of those things.